Hey Greg, let's talk bourbon. So today we are going to continue our series about the single barrel Showdown for the best bourbon and Tennessee whiskey that I own. So this will be blind 3 of 4, which is the cask strength or barrel proof bourbons, and that are over $70 but aren't quite bangers. So if you'll recall, there were 28 bottles total. I divided them up into groups of 7. The winner moves on to the next round. So here is our winner from the last 2 rounds. The Old Elk single barrel. Absolutely fantastic. Might have some struggles today though. We got some good bottles up here. So you'll notice though that I don't have 7 bottles here. I have 8. Yeah, all right. I was out and about the other day, and I picked up another bottle. A friend of mine gave me a tasting of this over at Ira's, and I thought it tasted pretty good. It is the Rabbit Hole Gold Single Barrel Cask Strength, and this happens to be a store pick for them. So I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I tried it up against their store pick for a Garrison Brothers single barrel. Maybe I'll get into that later. But the Rabbit Hole was really good. I opened it up on with my brother at Mother's Day this weekend, and I gotta tell you, we liked it, but it didn't necessarily strike me as being a banger. Right? And so I thought it should be in this round. So it is labeling, it says that it is cask strength. Now, granted, it's only 109 proof. So that's a really low proof for being cask strength, but, well, it's labeled as cask strength, and it's $104, which Total Wine was selling the same thing for $150. So I thought 104 was at least a pretty good deal. I have noticed that online it sells for even less. You can find it maybe even down into the 80s. Nonetheless, this was a store pick. I decided to pick it up. So, and I figured that this was the round that it should go in. So here it is. Now, of course, that means, now I got 9 bottles to do, 9 glasses to get through. It is a lot. I guess I'm just going to have to suffer and get through it. All right. So here we go. The other bottles that we have here, I've got them organized by price. And we got the Chattanooga. This is an experimental single barrel. It was about $75. And it's 118 proof. We got the Still Austin cask strength, about 116 proof. It's about $80. We've got the Jefferson's Ocean. Now, this isn't your normal Jefferson's Ocean. This is a store pick that is a single barrel, and it is cask strength. It's 118 proof. It was about $85. It's really good. All right, we have Old Dominick. Old Dominick, this happens to be their Tennessee whiskey. It's a single barrel of it, and real tasty. Bought this there at the distillery while I was down in Memphis. $100. And it's 124 proof. So we got an Old Forester, the bourbon single barrel cask strength. Real tasty. It's got the darker notes, oakier, that Old Forester flavor profile, right? 127 proof, about $100. We have Four Roses single barrel. This one happens to be an OESF. It's about $100. But it's also on the lighter side. It is only 113 proof. The Gold we talked about already, 109 proof, $104. We have a Peerless here. This happens to be the Bourbon Cello, which, if you know about Peerless, they've got like about 50 different single barrels. They're always running at different times. If you want to buy one, you got to go to the distillery to get it. So this happens to be the Bourbon Cello. It's very light, very sweet. Very tasty. It's great for giving it to beginners because it's just got this nice, light, sweet profile. It's not proofy at all. Beginners love it. That's about $110. It is also, though, on the lighter proof side. It's only 111 proof. but it is barrel proof. So, and then of course our current champion, the Old Elk single barrel. This does not label itself as being cask strength or barrel proof. It's 109 or 108.5 proof, and it was about $85. So the other interesting thing about this is the age. The Old Elk happens to be an 8-year product. It is sourced from MGP. They then play with it and do their own thing with it. The Four Roses is 11 years. 11 years and 3 months is what it talks about being. And the Old Dominic is a 7-year product. Otherwise, the rest of these are all 4 years, with the exception of the Still Austin. The Still Austin is only a 2-year product. Now, they talk about Texas. Everything, ages faster in Texas. All right, well, it's only a 2-year product. It is quite good, though. So what do I think is going to happen here? What are my predictions? Well, on the lower end of things, let's start with the rabbit hole here. So while I was trying it at Mother's Day with my brother, like I said, it didn't strike me as being a banger. Part of the reason for that is that this is a high rye double malt. Now, I like double malts. I like a malty bourbon. But it's also a high rye, and high rye really isn't necessarily my thing. I tend to like the sweeter ones, the higher corn. Or if I'm going rye, I like it to be like almost all rye, right? So, if you saw my blind a couple weeks ago, I gave Blanton's a hard time. Blanton's is also a high rye. High rye just isn't necessarily my thing, like I said. So I think that the rabbit hole is probably going to finish in the lower half. Another one that probably will finish in the lower half is the Peerless. It's really tasty. It's really good. It's nice and sweet. I like that. But it's also got a light nose. It's also light on the palate. In the past, it hasn't been able to stand up to some of the other competition in terms of it just kind of gets overwhelmed. And I think that might happen today, and it might end up in the lower half. Another one that I think might end up in the lower half is this Chattanooga experimental single barrel. It has a lot of dark fruits like plums and prunes for its flavor profile, which is good. It's a nice change of pace for me. A bottle that probably does a better job of that is OCD 5 by Glens Creek. And that was in a blind 2 weeks ago. I still put it out in third. Why? Well, I don't know. While I like those dark fruits as a change up, it's not necessarily what I'm always looking for. As you know, if you've watched me, I tend to like the sweeter ones. So, anyways, this one has a similar profile in those prunes and plums. The other thing about this bottle is that it also has a little bit of taste of White Dog. Not a lot, maybe like 20% or so. There's a little bit in the background. You can taste that cream corn, motor oil, ethanol kind of mix. It's there. I think it'll probably hold it back. So, now that's not as bad as, say, that Garrison Brothers that I just tried this past week when I was trying it up against this Herigold. Iris is doing a store pick for Garrison Brothers. It's a 3-year product. Obviously, it's from Texas. It had a strong nose. It had a strong palate. It was quite tasty. It was sweet. It had vanillas, maybe a little confectionery sugar to it. But then it also had very distinctly that White Dog flavor. It had the cream corn. It had the motor oil, not the black motor oil you put in your car, but like that clear oil that you would put like in, say, a blower motor, right? Drop by drop, kind of like that, and kind of that ethanolness, right? Now it was kind of, like I said, it was kind of nicely smoothed out, and it had those sweet flavors developing of the vanilla and the confectionery sugar. But I just had a hard time. I just couldn't quite buy a bottle that was $95 that was probably about 60% of its flavor profile was that of White Dog. I had a hard time with that, so I didn't buy it. I had thought about maybe buying that along with this one, putting one bottle in this blind and one bottle in the next one. I don't know. I'll tell you what. Leave me a comment. Tell me if you would like to see the Garrison Brothers. If you guys want to see the Garrison Brothers, I will buy that bottle this week and put it in next week's blind, and we'll try it out. Because like I said, it is good. It is tasty. It's just that I know what that taste is. I know I can't get it out of my head that, well, yeah, but it's cream corn and motor oil, kind of little hint there. Yeah, that's kind of, that's White Dog, right? Anyways, it's present in this bottle, but just a little bit, maybe about a lesser amount kind of in the background, but it's there. And I think it'll hold it back. So I think that the Chattanooga will finish probably in the bottom half. All right. In the top half, well, of course, I got to start with our champion here, the Old Elk. I think this is really great, right? It's got that vanilla and confectionery sugar along with tobacco and leather. It's real tasty. It's got a strong nose, strong palate. But I don't know if it's going to win today. The winner, the one that I think might win today is the Jefferson's Ocean. This Jefferson's Ocean, like I said, it's not the regular ones you see. This happens to be Voyage 33. It's a single barrel, cask strength, store pick. It's really, really good. When I was trying to figure out which bottles were going to be in my bangers round, this bottle just missed out. I was doing a little taste testing and picking which one should go where, and this would have been the next one in. All right, it's really, really good. I think this might be our winner today. My dark horse is going to be the Old Elk. But other ones that are strong contenders, and I think might be in the top half, is like this Old Dominic. This Old Dominic is really tasty, and it could very well end up in the top half. Old Forester, it really depends on how I'm feeling today. Old Forester's kind of that darker profile, oaky profile. If I'm into that today, it's going to finish in the top half. If I'm not into that today, well, then it's going to finish in the bottom half. So I'm not always into, I will say that right now, I'm not always into that darker, oakier profile. So we'll see how it goes today. The Four Roses, also nice and sweet. We'll see. I think that's probably going to finish at least in the middle, maybe even into the top half. Now, if you notice the one I didn't mention yet, and that was the Still Austin. And the Still Austin kind of, brings up this issue of age, right? We said that, the Four Roses an 11-year, the Old Elk is an 8-year, the Old Dominic is a 7-year, and the Still Austin is only a 2. So I like Still Austin quite a bit. I do. It's very good. It's very tasty. But what I do find about it is that when I put it up against other good bottles, its young age kind of shows. It starts to, you can start to kind of tell that it's only a 2-year product, right? And I think that's going to show today. So I'm thinking the Still Austin's probably going to finish somewhere in the middle. That's where I think it's going to end up. So those are my predictions. Let's get into this, shall we? I've got these bottles numbered 1 to 9. Slide them over. Boy, they take up a lot of room. So, got glasses over here, already out, mixed up. Doesn't really matter which order I bring them out. They all have numbers 1 through 9 underneath, corresponding to those bottles, right? And I will refer to them as A through I. Never done an I before. Never done something 9 wide. Let's get into it, shall we? Glass A. Fruity. The first thing that hit my mind was orange. Maybe also some lime. And there's some sweetness there, like vanilla. And a touch of spice back there. But that's really nice. That was a great one to start with. Glass B. This one is a little different. On one hand, it's a little sweet with a little caramel or vanilla. I don't know. Is that tobacco I smell? And then there's a little spice there. Glass C. Lighter nose. Smells nicely though. Little breadiness to it. Mix of vanilla and caramel. There's some fruitiness to it, but I'm having a hard time picking that out. Some spice in the background. I think maybe some cinnamon as well. Maybe some nutmeg. I'm not sure. All right. Again, it was a light on the nose. So sometimes when it's light on the nose, it's kind of hard to pick some of those notes out. Glass D. Stronger on the nose. Smells really nice. Smells like darker fruits. Like plums and prunes. I just said plums and prunes earlier, so that's on the mind. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I'm getting right now. Also, there's some sweetness there, some confectionery sugar, maybe some caramel. All right. Glass E. Wow, really light on the nose. I'm trying to find it. Okay, it's there. Got to really stick my nose in this glass. It smells like just a kind of a straight up bourbon, you know? Straight down the middle. It's got some caramel. Boy, giving myself a lightheaded here. I'm having to breathe so hard here. Yeah, some caramel, maybe some vanilla. It's got the spices. Yeah, the baking spice is actually fairly strong. But yeah, that's a really light palate. A really light nose, I mean. Let's go. Glass F. Well, okay, at least it's stronger on the nose. This one's fruitier and more citrus. As well as some sweetness, more in the caramels. And there's some baking spice in the back. Okay. Glass G. This one seems real nice. Vanillas, sugar. A little bit of breadiness to it. A little bit of cinnamon to it. And some spice. Does that one have tobacco? I don't think so. I think the other one smelled of tobacco more than this one does. Glass H. Another lighter nose. It's also darker, if you notice that. Oaky. Caramel. Almost more of a, do I say molasses on that one? Maybe a little spice. Alright, and glass I. Oh, this one's really nice. I like this one. Lots of vanilla, maybe some caramel, and it's fruity. Banana, pear, and a little breadiness. I don't know. I like this one. That eye is, it smells tasty. All right. let's get into this, shall we? On the palate, Class A. Okay, yeah, this is fruity. Mentioned it was fruity. A little bready, a little spice at the back of the palate. There's not a lot of sweetness here. It's really fruit forward, but it's also it does have a really nice mouthfeel. It coats my mouth quite well. And yeah, there's some vanilla there. But it's not as sweet as some of these are going to be. I can tell you that right now. Class B. Yeah. Ah. Yeah, this smells like the Old Elk. That's what it smells like. Yeah, it tastes like it too. I'm really getting to know what it tastes like because it's been in the last 3 blinds now. And as you can see, I've drank quite a bit of it. Light, sweet. A little bit of spice in the back. Tobacco. Yeah. That's good. Class C. This is one of the ones that had a light nose. It's tasty though. Really sweet. You know, it bounces around from like a sugar to a vanilla to a caramel, and then it's got a fruity flavor to it. A little bit of citrus. Not sure what that other fruit is. Yeah. I think that was C, right? Class D. Here's the one that smells like prunes and plums. Yeah. Pretty sure this is Chattanooga. It's real nice though. As I say it as if it was a bad thing or something. Sorry. It tastes like prunes and plums. That's what it tastes like. And there is a high note there. It's not caramel. It's almost like a cream, like a whipped cream kind of a sweetness on top. Now, I don't know why you would put whipped cream on prunes and plums. That's what it tastes like to me. And yeah, in the background, in the very back, there is that little bit of white dog. I said 20% earlier. That's about right. Maybe even only 10%. It's light. It's just kind of there a little bit in the background. But you can taste a little bit of that white dog. Which to me means it needed a little bit longer in the barrel. All right? Let's go with E, shall we? This is another really light nose. I know where I'm coming to for my first outs. I got a C, D, and E are on that list. The palate's also really light. to be honest with you. I mean, I get a little brightness. I get a little spice at the end. That whole front palate is like missing. And I'm going to have a piece of cheese and see if I can't resurrect it. I think maybe it's just so light and coming after other things that were stronger that I'm just having a harder time picking it up. That's my guess. So I had a little cheese, a little water. All right, let's try it again. Glass E. You know, the nose reminds me of a toasted product, actually. Toasted products tend to not have much of a front of the palate. Instead, they've got that breadiness and the marshmallow. This doesn't necessarily have marshmallow. It does have that breadiness. Okay, I mean, the front of the palate is like a pear. There's a little bit of sweetness there. I'm not even sure if it's vanilla or not. It's really light. It's really light. And then it gets into a breadiness, and it's got the 5 spice at the end. And it's a nice, pleasant pour. But it's underwhelming. All right. Let's do F, shall we? It's hard to keep track of all these. All right, F. A little bit more of a nose, but still not that strong. This is nice. This is really all mid-palate. I mean, it's got caramels, breadiness. Does it get into a nuttiness? Yeah, you know, there is on the front of the palate, there is a little bit of vanilla up there. It's not a lot, but there's a little bit. But it comes into like a dark caramel, and there's some kind of nuttiness. I'm not sure if I want to say it's hazelnut, but there's some kind of nuttiness there, and there's also a breadiness there. And there's really not that much of a spice at the finish, which I enjoy. I like a little bit of spice to kind of round things out, but I don't like much. I'm not a big fan of ones that just burn out your, the front of your palate with all that spice in the back of the palate. This one doesn't have much of that at all, yet it's darker flavors. This is really interesting. I like it a lot. I find it a very interesting pour. I think there's a little bit of even perhaps a touch of complexity to it. It's just a little different. So, there it is. G. As I actually have to count them out because there's so many glasses. This is the other one I thought could be the Old Elk, but it is not. But there is some similarity in this glass. There's something else there. Part of that, I was saying there's a touch of brightness. I think this one has a lot of breadiness. This one kind of comes across to me as graham cracker. And with a little cinnamon. It's the first one that I would say was proofy. I mean, it's not real proofy. It's not like that Jack Daniels the other day. But none of the others struck me as proofy at all. And this one, it's there. And it's a little distracting. But there's some really nice flavors in this. Yes, I do get that graham cracker. I get some cinnamon. I get some caramel. I get a little baking spice. It's nice. Interested to know what that one is. I have a guess. But, you know, I'm sure I'll be wrong on that. All right. Glass H. This is my dark one. You can even see it looks dark. Boy, that's tasty. Dark molasses. And it's oaky. The spice level isn't too bad, though. Little bready. Little cinnamon. Do I get nutmeg? Maybe a little nutmeg. I'd be shocked if that isn't Old Forester. That just comes across to me as the Old Forester profile right there. It's real tasty. If you're looking for a change up and looking for something dark, it's real tasty. It's good. And letter I. Never done an I before. And this one is a strong contender. I don't know which bottle this is, but it's got a boom, powerful nose. It's really sweet, fruity. Oh, that vanilla just comes. Vanilla and almost honey. You know, when you get that vanilla and honey mix, sometimes you end up with, you're starting to call it a honeysuckle even, right? Smells like there's a little cinnamon there too. Oh, that's good. On the palate, there's a fruitiness that isn't necessarily there on the nose. But the vanilla's come through. Yeah. I don't know if I said breadiness on the nose. It's not on the palate. Not much anyways. But boy, it's got a real nice coating of the mouth. Syrupy almost. And what's that fruit that I'm tasting? Like peach. Like pear and peach and maybe something else. Maybe with a splash of lime. And then the finish comes in finally after a few sips. Finish wasn't there on the first sip, or not even really on the second. It wasn't until the third sip that baking spice finish kind of kicked in, which I like that. I like a delayed finish like that. And despite that baking spice, I still get that that citrus coming through. Wow. I like that glass. All right. Another piece of cheese. And now it is time to figure out what one we're going to eliminate. Because 9 glasses is too much. We got to get rid of a couple of these, right? All right. Now I know that I like A and that I like B. I know that I like H and I like I. These 5 in the middle are where I got some iffy glasses. Including, I think 2 or 3 of them were really light on the nose. Gonna mix them up a little. Ooh, I mean, Glass D, which I believe is the Chattanooga, it's significantly stronger than those other four. It's as strong as these other four. And it's got really good flavor. It just does. I mean, the darker fruits might not necessarily always be my thing, but it's good. And I'm going to pull it out of this. It's not in the bottom group here. I am now looking at C, E, F, and G. And that G, is that the one that was kind of missing the front of the palate? Or was it this E that was missing the front of the palate? Because they're both rather similar. They're both really light, and they're both kind of simple. I think I remember saying that E was underwhelming. I remember that now. I think C is good enough to not go out. And I think that F also isn't bad. I am zeroing in on E and G. Yeah. There's not much there. I don't know what it is. I hope it's not the rabbit hole I just bought. Not much there. E goes out in 9th place. G goes out in 8th place. There we go. Progress has been made. All right. I am concerned that I think one of those I just put out was probably the rabbit hole. And if that's the case, it was not worth $104. I like my friend there, but I like Ira's. It's one of their store picks. They had an event with Rabbit Hole. And it's it's perfectly nice, perfectly pleasant. We'll see if it's in one of those two glasses. Now watch this. Now that I said all that, it'll turn out to be like finish second or third or something. You know, that's how it goes for me, right? All right. Kind of reset my palate a little bit. Boy, I am really, really interested in whether or not you guys are interested in seeing that Garrison Brothers. Now that I'm talking about that again, Garrison Brothers, boy, I'm really on the edge of whether or not I should have bought that or not. So if you think I should have, and you want to see it in next week's blind with the bangers, let me know. Put it in the comments. All right. Also, like and subscribe. Really would help me out a lot if you like and subscribe. So, we are moving on. We are looking for 7th place. This C, while it's lighter and has a lighter nose, it's really quite pleasant. It's sweet. It's tasty. It tastes like a bourbon ought to taste. I have a hard time picking on it. The only thing I think negative about C is that the nose is light. Otherwise, every time I come back to it, it's like, oh, that tastes good, right? It's good. It's just the nose isn't as strong. And then when you try it against the ones with a strong nose and a strong palate, it gets overshadowed. But by itself, it's really tasty. Now, I got to do it. F. It's going out in 7th place. All right there in a row. Had to do it. It was starting to disappear. I know I've mentioned this before in some of my other videos. When you got a lot of similar glasses and you just start bouncing back and forth, and which, I don't know, is that the best way to compare? Maybe, maybe not. It has its strengths, it has its weaknesses. But when you do that, what you'll find is that one of them, a lot of the time, will just not be able to keep up anymore, and it'll start to fade. And that means it's time for that one to go. And that's just what just happened there for F. It just started to fade on me. So, it's gone. All right. We are now looking for 6th place. I'm looking at A, looking at C, I'm looking at D, looking at H, and I need to revisit these other two. Oh, God, that really smells great. I don't know what bottle this is here at I. It's really, wow. That's really good. Whatever that is, that's really good. And it's better than this one. I'll tell you. I hate to say it. I'm pretty sure that's the Old Elk. It's really good. But that one's amazing. Wow. This is all starting to come clear to me. And this one's tasty. It's fruity, sweet. I mean, I don't think it's as good as B, and I don't think it's as good as I, but it's tasty. It's really good. And my dark one here, it's good too, but it is dark. That it is. That's just really good. That's C. I know it had a lighter nose, but it's really good. Wow. All right. I am looking at D, and I'm looking at H. And I'm running out of water. It just depends on how I want to look at it, all right? I could argue that this glass is better than this glass. I could argue that this glass is better than this glass. It really does come down to how I want to look at this. I would say it's almost a tie, even though they're very different. But I'm going to go with how I feel at the moment. And how I feel at the moment is that this dark one is starting to get too dark for me. It's starting to head into the slightly bitter and a little too oaky for me. So I'm going to put H out in 6th place. And I'm going to put D out in 5th place. So there we have it. I decided the glass that I think is Old Forester is just a little too dark for me right now. A little too oaky. Oftentimes with being oaky, it's a little bitter, right? And that's kind of starting to come forward. It wasn't there initially, but as we get into this, it's starting to show itself. And I decided to put that out ahead of the experimental, which, as I discussed, has the darker fruits, which, and has just a touch of that white dog flavor. But it's still really good. It's got the reason why I put it above is that despite all that, this Chattanooga experimental, it's got a really strong nose, strong palate. There's a lot of flavor here. Now, I've been to Chattanooga, and, Chattanooga Distillery there, and, I'm impressed with them. If you're driving through Chattanooga on your way to Atlanta or whatever, which is what I was doing, I was on my way to Atlanta, you got to stop there. Stop at the Chattanooga Distillery, and they do a great job. They really do. It's a fun place to stop and get a flight. You got to stop there. Really good. All right. Now we're on to the last 4 glasses. We've got A, we've got B, we've got C, and we got I. And these other 5 are all gone. All right. I think I know one of them in B. The other 3, I don't know who they are. I have no pick for what A is. B, a light nose, but it's really tasty. I'm kind of thinking it might be Peerless, but I don't know. C. B is, I'm sure, Old Elk. C is the one that's got a light nose, but it's really sweet, really tasty. I think it might be Peerless. It might be. But I might be wrong about that. There's a lot of bottles that kind of have that same profile, so it's easy to mix that one up. And then I over here is fantastic. It's powerful. It's tasty. It's sweet. It's fruity. It's a lot of things. There's a lot going on in this glass. It's really good. Right now, unless something changes, I think I is going to be my winner. I have no idea what bottle it is. I don't have a pick. Based upon my comments earlier, you would say, okay, maybe I'm thinking that's the Jefferson's. Maybe it is. Maybe it's something else. I don't know. We're going to find out, aren't we? We're going to find out. So I got to figure out what's in 4th place, though. Oh, God, this is so good. Yeah. God, that's tasty. But that's not bad at all. That holds its own. Vanilla and pears. That's what I'm getting right now. That's good. You know what? I gotta do it. I said I thought this would finish second, but I didn't think it would get through. I thought this round was too strong for it. I gotta tell you, right now, the way I see it, I gotta call balls and strikes the way I see it, and I'm going B out in fourth place. I think that's the Old Elk. Not 100% positive, but I think that's what it is. Smells like it. I mean, it does. It smells like it. I really love this bottle, if it is indeed the Old Elk. But it's been its match today. It has. Oh, sorry. Still dealing with these, I don't know, allergies or a resurgent cold that I had, a month ago. I don't know. I'm sure you can hear that on my voice periodically. All right. Down to the last three. And really, let's face it. I think I'm down to two because I don't know if either of them can compete with this one. I am amazed that C, this one that has a bit of a light nose, is still here. That was just better than these two. It just is. Wow, this is a really good competition here between A and C. So A is a little stronger. It's a little fruitier. I think I said orange and lime. And yeah, I can still see that. And although I think I could probably pick a few other different fruits instead of orange. It's hard to describe. And it's also got the vanilla. It's got some creaminess to it. Oh, but I really like this C. And I've said it before. I like sweet bourbons. I have figured that out about myself. I like sweet bourbons. I got to put A out in third place. Oh, that just hits on so many levels. Well, C is just really tasty, but it's going out in second place. And I is our winner. We saw that coming. All right. So we figured out our glasses. What we don't know is what bottles they correspond to. All right, let's do this, shall we? I'm really interested because I have guesses for a few of these. But some of them I just have no clue whatsoever. And this is just a really good mix of bottles. It just really is, right? So, somebody had to lose. There's really no bad bottle up here. There really isn't. Everything up here is good. Everything up here, if you own it, that's great. I like all of these. I think, if you own these bottles, it's a good thing. They're all good. But you know what? Somebody's got to lose. So who did lose? In 9th place. Number 2. Oh, I thought it would finish in the middle of the pack. But I did say that this is only a 2-year product. And that it shows its youth when it gets up against good bottles. That's why I said in the beginning, I think this is the one that I pronounced right away as being underwhelming. Yeah. And it's missing, the front of the palate is like really light. It's like kind of missing a front of the palate, which is why it went out in 9th place. I got to somehow keep this organized. There's a lot of bottles. Sorry, I will move it more into the camera view as I clear out some of these bottles. All right. In 8th place, number 6. Oh my, this is a surprise to me. Now, I have not thought this was my favorite bottle, right? This Four Roses. My brother is a big Four Roses fan. And he's also a big Makers fan. And I like both of them. And I think I like Makers, though, better than I like Four Roses. And, I mean, this is the oldest one up here, right? This is 11 years, 3 months. It is a discount liquor store pick. Single barrel. It is the OESF, which I know my brother, like I said, he is a Four Roses guy. He's all into the different letter combinations and whatever. And I know that OESF is not his favorite combination. I forget what that even means. I know it has to do with the type of yeast and the type of this and the type of that. Well, I'm just not that into Four Roses. But I guess this shows it, right? I mean, it is somewhat high rye. I mentioned that I'm not a big high rye guy. This is 20% rye. And yeah, so there we go. Four Roses. My Four Roses single barrel that I spent $100 on. It's even a store pick. Well, went out in 8th place. All right, in 7th place. Number 8. Oh, I was hoping this glass, one of these glasses over here. Yeah, this glass. I was hoping that was the Peerless. It is not. Bourbon Cello. I did say that the Bourbon Cello would probably finish in the bottom half. I did say it has a light nose, and yeah, it has a light nose. It is quite tasty. Gotta keep it from going down the wrong pipe there. It is quite tasty, but it's got the pears, maybe peach. But what's missing the sweetness. I mean, compared to some of these others, I refer to this as being really sweet. And yeah, I really, a lot of people who I have given this to that aren't bourbon drinkers like it because it is on the sweeter side. But there are other bottles here that are sweeter. This is not the sweetest one up here. So anyways, Peerless Bourbon Cello goes out in 7th place. All right, in 6th place. Number 5. Yep, well, I correctly picked the Old Forester. This was my dark glass. The liquid was a little darker. The flavors are a little darker. Unfortunately, now, in that one sip that I just took, I don't really get a lot of... I get the oakiness, but I don't get any of the spice. or hardly at all. I get more the mid palate, the molasses, cinnamon. Yeah. Sometimes I even get a little pine tar out of this. It is really tasty. But today it kind of, as I went through this, it started to build up that kind of darker, oakier bitterness. So, Old Forester is something that I really enjoy by itself. Sometimes I have an Old Forester day, and I bring out all my Old Forester bottles, and I have a nice time. I love Old Forester. In a blind, it tends to not do that well for me. Maybe it does for other people, other people's palates. For me, you know, the Old Forester profile is darker, oakier, and I don't know, it just doesn't blind that well for me. All right, we're going to start pulling these bottles out a little bit more. All right. And in, what is this, 5th place? We have number 1. Yes, correctly picked the Chattanooga. Chattanooga Experimental Single Barrel. I don't know how anybody could miss this, right? It's just so distinctive. I mean, prunes, plums, with, I don't know, maybe a touch of molasses, and then there's that whipped cream I was talking about earlier. Unfortunately, on the palate, it doesn't show up on the nose, but on the palate, you get all of those notes, but also you can find a little bit of that cream corn and so forth on the back of the palate, at the, you know, on the palate, you know, the white dog flavor. So it, in my opinion, Chattanooga needed to leave this in the barrel for a little bit longer. I think, you know, it was hand selected by B5. Who the hell is B5? Anyways, B5, whoever you are, it needed to spend a few more months in the barrel. Otherwise, it's really good. And, you know, this is a strong blind, and it beat some strong bottles, right? So, you ought to be at least a little proud of yourself, because it did do well. All right, as I'm moving these glasses, I can start moving the bottles, right? In 4th place. Boy, it's kind of bleeding, isn't it? That's number 9. Well, okay, that's what I thought it was. I correctly picked the Old Elk. I love Old Elk. I just love this bottle. I didn't think it was going to be the winner of everything, but I do really love this bottle. I mean, it's so nice. If you don't own Old Elk Single Barrel, yeah, some of their stuff, and I think this stuff here is from MGP, but I think some of the other stuff, I think some of it's also for their own, right? I think they're, let's see here. Let's make sure. Let's get this right. It is indeed distilled in Indiana. So, but they take it, they probably buy it at 4 years old. And this is an 8-year-old product. So, Old Elk has taken this 4-year-old MGD and played with it and aged it and created their single barrel. It's really lovely. Like I said, it's got that vanilla, confectionery sugar with tobacco. I'm not really picking up the leather right now. I mentioned leather earlier. Yeah, okay. It's there very lightly. This is really, really nice. But against these better bottles, and I gotta say, I am amazed at something here. The rabbit hole's still up here. What? Wait a minute. I'm not Old Dominic, I'm not surprised about. This one is amazing, so I'm not surprised about that. But what? How is this still up here? Anyways, the Old Elk went out in 4th place. It is really tasty. I'm going to finish it right now. Damn. That's good. All right. 3rd place. What do we got? 7. Well, finally, I said this was going to be bottom half. I said that I didn't really like high rye bourbons. Right? I'm going to have to separate this a little bit. I cannot believe that this finished so high. In fact, that this beat my Old Elk. Wow. Okay, so it's a lot better than I thought. I mean, I just got this bottle. It's really lovely. It has a stronger nose than I thought it did, apparently, comparing to everything else. I mean, well, how strong of a nose does that Garrison Brothers then have? Because I put it up against that Garrison Brothers, and the Garrison Brothers was definitely stronger, right? It just had that so much of that white dog flavor that I couldn't pull the trigger. But I gotta say, this single barrel here of the Herigold, and I think what I liked about it probably was really that double malt. Because it is, now that I realize what it is, and I smell the glass, yeah, it's malty. But I think I put it out in 3rd, and I didn't put it out in 2nd, because I was, I didn't think it was that sweet. I didn't think it was as sweet as what was in 2nd. And yeah, okay, this is a high rye. It's not going to be as sweet. Wow. I mean, this is really good. I think I said orange and lime with some vanilla, and it's got a great mouthfeel. I think that's what I said about it earlier, and I stand by that. Yeah, a little breadiness. Yeah. I am pleasantly surprised about this bottle. I am disappointed in this one. I really thought that the Four Roses would do better. Anyways, in 2nd place, now I'm going to say right now that I think that the Jefferson's Ocean, and granted, I mean, I've owned these bottles about the same length of time, and look at that at Jefferson's Ocean. Everybody loves this. Whereas the Old Dominic is still kind of high. So, while I like these two, I gotta believe that the winner was a runaway winner. I gotta believe that's the Jefferson. I gotta believe 2nd place is the Old Dominic. If that's the case, well, either way, I'm really happy for the Old Dominic that it's still up here, because I didn't necessarily think it would be this high, but I knew it was a really good bottle. But if it is whoever's in 2nd place though is definitely in 2nd place. The winner is definitely the winner. So let's reveal it, right? I'm thinking it's Old Dominic, but let's reveal it. Let's see if I'm right. In 2nd place, number 3, it is indeed the Old Dominic. That's a really good showing for Old Dominic. I did think it was going to be in the upper half, like I said. But when I was saying in the upper half, I was thinking 3rd or 4th, right? I wasn't necessarily thinking 2nd. This is really good. This Old Dominick, this is their Tennessee whiskey, single barrel. I've also, while I was there at the distillery, I had a chance to try their bourbon single barrel, which is also really good. I just wasn't able to purchase it. They were out of it at the time. Had they had it in stock, I would have bought it. Boy, that's just really good. It is. So if I'm not mistaken, the Old Dominick is the one that the nose was a little light, but I just kept moving it forward. I thought perhaps it was Peerless. No, I was wrong. It's the Old Dominick. It's just really good. It's really tasty. Really good. By the way, we were there for a Bruzel event, my brother and I. My brother was a contestant in Bruzel's mixing there. And you'll see me in that video. It just came out, I don't know, what, a month ago? You'll see me in that video as kind of a cameo. I got to sit at my brother's table as he was doing his mixing. Wasn't able to tell him what to do, of course. He was the contestant, but you know what? My brother did a fantastic job. He was great. He should have won that. I'm going to leave it there. Just going to leave it there. So, but I really, really got to do a shout out for Old Dominick. It's fantastic. If you're in Memphis, you gotta go downtown and go to Old Dominick. Of course, if you're in Memphis, you also gotta stop by Blue Note. They're fantastic too. So, 2 great distilleries in one town. Check them out sometime. All right, our winner. That was a runaway winner. Every time I tried it, I was like, oh my God, this is so much better than everything else up on this list. Here we are. First place. I got mixed up because I moved the bottles over. I moved the bottles over to get them out of the way of the rest of these. They were in this order. So this was number 3. The winner, is number 4. Did I just screw up? Because I put them in the order of price. This was number 1. Number 1. This was number 2. Still Austin. Number 2. Number 3. Holy shit. Holy shit. Everything I just said about the lighter nose and moving it up, because it's so good. That was the Jefferson's. I confirmed it by smelling. This one smells like this glass. This one smells like this glass. And in order of price, this is a $100 bottle. This is an $85 bottle. My winner was number 4. Number 4 is Old Dominick. This is what happens when you start moving stuff. I got too many bottles up here, right? Holy shit, Old Dominick won. Don't worry, I'll play this back. If I'm wrong, I'll correct it in the notes, but I don't think I'm wrong. The winner was number 4. It's clearly, oh my God, it's got a great nose. Old Dominic. So while I really like Blue Note, which is also in Memphis, this Tennessee whiskey right here is kicking ass. So the Blue Note did really well against the Old Elk, but the Old Elk beat it. Here, the Old Dominic beat the Old Elk handily. Old Dominic's my winner. Wow. Well, there we go. So I was... What did I do right? What did I do wrong? Well, I thought this would be middle of the pack. It ended up last. But I did say it would struggle. I'm shocked about the Four Roses. I thought I would do a lot better than this. The Peerless, unfortunately, I'm not surprised. I know it has a light nose. I know it's kind of... While it's really nice by itself, it tends to get overwhelmed by others. All right. The Old Forester, not really surprised, but it's kind of middle of the pack. You know, I do know that it tends to, after a while, start to get a little on that oaky bitter side. I am surprised, pleasantly surprised by the Chattanooga. I didn't think it would finish this high. Finished right down the middle. For an experimental, for a small distillery like Chattanooga, I think that's a great finish for Chattanooga. I think that's great. Wow. It's really good. Old Elk. Love Old Elk. I already finished the glass. But I didn't think Old Elk would get all the way. I said that I didn't think it would finish this blind, and it didn't. Now, Rabbit Hole. Shocked. I thought for sure Rabbit Hole was going to be in the bottom half. I thought it might be in the bottom two. I don't have a lot of experience with this bottle yet. I tried it on Mother's Day. I tried it up against Blanton's Straight from the Barrel. And I tried it against Dark Arts Single Barrel. Those are two bangers, right? I didn't think it was a banger. Well, it's probably not, but still, it's pretty darn good. Look at what it beat, right? Look who it beat. Jefferson's. Thought it might win. It finished second. It has a lighter nose than I remember. But it's good. Really good. Really good. Old Dominic. Thought I'd be in the top half. Wow. Wow. So Old Dominic is moving on to the next round. And there we go. Hope you enjoyed it. Peace out.